There is Tom Cousins, the number one, and he has the first break here.
Yeah, interesting. He's going front ball, I think, but he's been cut breaking all day out there, the same as I have.
Yeah, cut breaking in the back arena at front ball. He did the same. Wow. Well, maybe he might not stay with it, but it's always a tough one for me to watch somebody with the power of Tom Cousins' cut break, but maybe too much power on this occasion.
You want to see the power he generates from a cut break, Simon?
Well, yeah, there is that.
Fairly similar, in fairness.
Yeah. Well, it's first chance then for Shaun Storry. Cue ball in hand anywhere on the table because he jumped the cue ball off the table.
Yeah, and that makes a huge difference with this visit because obviously, as you can see, the yellows at the bottom left there. There's a couple of tricky ones, but he can take them both out in the first two shots and leave himself a good chance.
Interesting dynamic in this match, and I think you're the perfect person to sort of talk about this because you have obviously, you know, there's a variety of different people that you'll practice with, and you've been a practice partner of Shaun Storry's, but these two are kind of practice partners at the moment, and they will know each other's game inside out. Oh, that's a poor start from Shaun.
Yeah.
I was going to ask the case of Shaun probably knows better than anyone else how good Tom is. I mean, we all know how good Tom is because he's been winning so much, and he's been a machine lately. But
yeah,
you know, Shaun sees that a lot more than most. Do you think that has an effect?
Yes. Yeah, I do. Because when you do see Tom play up close, and he has those days, you know, he is unplayable. There's no two ways about it, really. But yeah, I mean, obviously I was a practice partner of Shaun's for quite some time, and then Shaun and Tom practiced for quite some time. Obviously Shaun's had a family towards the end of last year, so he hasn't been practicing as much, completely understandably. So I've actually been practicing with Tom a lot more recently.
Oh wow, okay, yeah. So you know both these players' games really well. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, first hand, you know, I mean, I'll go over and play Tom maybe 5 or 6 sets. I think the last 2 times I've played him, to give you an idea, I lost 3-2 in sets. Couldn't have played much better.
Yeah.
And then I had a slightly off day, lost 6-0 in sets.
Yeah.
And you know, I think they were all 7-4 and above, but the difference was, you know, I was never looking like winning any of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a treat to see him in tournament play when he's in full flow. I can only imagine in practice when he's a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah, a little bit too relaxed sometimes.
I mean, when's he not relaxed, let's be honest?
So yeah, I mean, Shaun will probably have the mindset of, if Tom pots from the break, the frame's gone. If Shaun doesn't pot from his break, the frame's gone. If Shaun misses a ball, the frame's gone. So he's putting himself bang under it before he starts, probably. Almost
trying, subconsciously, he'll probably be saying, you know, thinking, you've got to play flawless to win this match, which isn't actually the case. You know, you have to, if you think like that, it's not a great one for you to play your best stuff.
That's right.
I'm a big fan of practicing against the best players in terms of, this is the only way to improve and get better is to play, you know, better players, you know, and try and elevate. But if that's, you've got to do, I think you need a variety.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like I said, I'm practicing every day, but I will practice with Tom sort of once a week.
Yeah.
And when I practice with Tom, I'm trying to put into practice everything that I've been working on during the week.
It's almost a gauge of where are you. Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, you know, if I go over and play 6 sets with Tom and I lose them all, but you know, I've played the best I could play with the chances I've had.
Well, opening frame, big error from Shaun Storry, then fully punished by Tom Cousins.
Yeah. But Shaun did say to me earlier today that his break is in the best place it's ever been in, and he's just proved it with his first whack there, hasn't he? Yeah,
he's hit that well. It's not perfect though, is it? It's
no,
a little issue at the bottom here.
He's got the yellow over the middle, which you know, if he lands sort of anywhere slightly off straight, it's a natural just to drop into the yellow and the 8 ball, which he can do sort of second shot if he wants to, and guaranteed to be on the ball top left. So yeah, a little bit of work to do, but should be okay here. Far from me to say anything should be done or shouldn't be done after my last match, but
Well, this is, I mean, it's a different game when you're in here. I enjoy it in here for that reason, but it is. But the thing is, when you're out there, you have all the plans that you're talking about in your mind. They are what's going through your mind when you're out there. It's just you have to deal with where you end up and how things go, and that's not gone particularly well for Shaun there.
Yeah, that's about the worst possible outcome. Stuck on the yellow, and he's pushed the black safe. But he will have been putting all of his focus into just finding the natural angle of the pot, really. And yeah, not in a million years do you envisage that's going to happen to you. Otherwise, you don't play it, do you?
Can you be critical that it was slightly overhit, or has just got the line slightly wrong? Catches the 8-ball a bit more.
Maybe
on the top side. It's okay.
Again, it's a slide, isn't it? Because I think if you play that shot out on the other table, you're probably catching the 8 half ball, and then it's perfect.
Both these players have played on the main table this weekend. Both played yesterday. Shaun, it was first match of the tournament, so he's played every match since. Out the back. For Tom, it was his second match of the tournament, so he's played quite a few since then.
Yeah, clever shot from Tom. Opened up the reds and made one of the yellows safe. Had to make sure he did get something in the way of one of the yellows, because the yellow at the bottom by the 8-ball is a good ball to land on or break out the 8-ball if Shaun decides to go.
Nearly run out of time for all the thinking he had to do on that one. Plays a good shot. Containing shot.
Yeah, might find himself touching ball behind this red in a second though. See how Tom's touch is today. Not bad. Bad news for Shaun is he's likely the easiest ball to hit. It's the closest ball he's to, which means he's going to be pushing it away from the 8-ball. Were you a big practicer back in the day, Simon?
Yeah, along the same lines as you. Would look for a lot of solo practice. Also had a lot of match practice and a variety of opponents. I used to travel a fair amount to try and find, you know, if you can't find somebody that was going to push you around, you try and travel to find somebody. Yeah. You know, I sometimes would travel as far as 2 hours to go and find a practice partner, and I felt that was worth it at the time to be pushed and try and elevate to that next stage, that next level.
Definitely.
But then I was also playing an awful lot of players more locally, you know, and then trying to find ways to make that competitive. Trying to always put myself under pressure. I found a lot of times, I know that you guys play a lot of sets, and when you talk about sets, you talk about sevens, don't you? You talk about races to 7. You said they're 7-4.
Well, I practice for the tournament I'm playing.
But which is sevens. But I used to love a set for me was a race to 3, and then I just played a ton of races to 3s. Every frame I played was under pressure. Okay. Just non-stop, and you could be 2-0 up and think fine, but you know. You're playing players that can run 3 straight.
You're a dry break away from losing.
Exactly, and so you're always you know, under pressure, and you just, you know, find a way to give it an edge, whether you stick a 5 on a set or whatever it might be. Some players you would, some players you wouldn't, but it was always trying to find a way to play under pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing that in practice with sets. So this week I've been playing against myself in a race to 10. The rules are, if I pot the cue ball off the break or I'm dry off the break, I lose the frame. Yeah. If I pot off the break and obviously clear up, I win the frame. But I didn't want to be playing like a headless chicken, so if the balls came out a bit smelly and I played a good safety shot, basically write that one off and rack them up again. That's
like a draw. That one doesn't. Yeah. No, I love that. I think it's a great idea.
I also gave myself one dry break to have a go at as well. That was my.
Yeah. Yeah. I do like that. We'll come back to that in a minute. I've got a few other things I want to pick your bones about on the practice side of things, as Tom had a big shot to play and he's come up a little bit short.
Yeah. He's a tall guy, he can reach, luckily for him.
A little bit surprised at the line he tried to find. I thought he'd try and hit middle of the left side cushion on the bottom end to try and be as wide on it as possible.
Yeah, I didn't know whether he'd come twice across. It looked natural to come twice across, potentially.
Big shot, though.
Good shot, though.
Oh, it's a brilliant shot. Brilliant stuff from Tom Cousins. Yeah, part of the game to make the game as easy as possible. How about that for power?
Wow.
I mean, this time he keeps the cue ball on the table, but we've seen an awful lot of players break big this weekend, but there is a different sound and explosion for the absolute elite with the break, and Tom is right there. Almost too much power. Look at all the balls in the top half here.
Yeah, not sure whether he might take a little bit off for the next few. I mean, the Reds look okay, I think. I'm not sure. I don't think the red and the yellow together go, but he's got a chance to go straight into that. I think from this red he's taken on here, I think he can potentially sort of stun screw into it.
I tried to. Didn't quite get the line right. It wasn't, I say stun screw, it was higher on the cue ball and he just overdid it. Tom's one of the players that people talk about his break and how he gets, in pool terms, people say, oh, he gets a lot of free frames, as in the layouts are really good. I think he's probably, I mean, a lot of top players will do it, but he does it more than just about anybody. Attacks his bad ball earlier than anybody else on the tour on a consistent basis. And if you're just casually watching, you might miss that first shot he plays, and then they are really simple. But that first shot often for Tom is the frame winner.
Correct. Yes. And the frustrating thing in practice is it's not something you can copy.
Yeah.
Because it's an ability that he has to be able to do it, and sometimes the shots he plays to get his bad ball or bad balls out first shot, even though I've seen him do it and I've seen how he do it, how he's done it, should I say, I couldn't play that shot.
Yeah. There's a lot of confidence and belief in some of the shots he will play to play the breakout shot as well. That you know, you've got to be playing an elite game to be able to execute some of the shots. But just that drive to absolutely go after it at the first possible opportunity is.
Oh, definitely. But there's shots he plays in practice where, you know, I think if he set that back up and gave me 3 or 4 goes at it, I'm not sure I'd get it. Yeah.
Well, this time he missed his breakout shot with the first shot, and actually it left him a problem to solve, and he gets the wrong cannon, so he's in trouble.
Yeah. He's got the plant, and he can control it in that the first red is going to be potting the other red and then going towards the cushion, and he can stun the cue ball to the side cushion as well. So this can go well, but it can go wrong.
That's a good plant, but he's not on the next ball.
You might be able to see this one at the top right.
Well, body language is giving me the impression that he can. The camera angles, maybe not so much. Maybe on the overhead it looks like he could just about, but well, maybe not. No, having to go off a cushion. Or is he? Yeah, had to go. Oh, he could get there. That's incredible.
Can you see it? Is it just... Yeah, I think it's
He's
just
okay.
held up in time.
Wow.
Or is it? Oh, doesn't look like it from there, does
I'm not even going to... It's just gone 11 o'clock. It's been a long day. I'm not even going to try and guess on that one. No, he's nowhere near. But I thought he was nowhere near on the previous one.
Hey, look, from the overhead, it does look like he can get straight through there, doesn't it? Still, pop this one and snooker yourself on the 8.
Oh, doesn't give away the foul. That's the only thing.
Yeah, he's asked a question. It's all you can do in this situation sometimes.
Yeah, and Shaun's not got into the match yet, and that obviously adds more weight to this visit as well.
Yeah, because when your opponent has 1 ball left on the table and you have all of yours, it's always a frame. You feel like you should win.
That's when I used to practice, that was a statistic I used to keep track of, actually.
Yeah.
That counter. If you can be clinical on the counter, then you'll be amazed at how much you can raise through the ranks, especially when you get to the absolute top. You need to be clearing first visits to be able to compete and win titles at the top. But you know, if you go down a couple of levels, the counter is so important.
Yeah, well, another routine that I will do is basically obviously break and clear up, and then I'll get the 8-ball out and put it over the pocket of basically the pocket that hurts you the most for the colour set that's left on the table.
Yeah.
And try and clear up from there.
I love that one. Well, it is a tough counter here for Shaun, but nothing says he has to go for it in one visit. But you get the sense he... Well, I thought he was trying to cut that one in, but he has decided to play defensive. And
yeah, I think if Tom can find the bottom cushion and then essentially the break line, I think he's going to go close to cutting it in.
Yeah, I agree, which is why I'm surprised at the shot that Shaun played. I actually thought he was cutting one into top left to get, you know, into that top left corner because it would pass the red.
Yeah.
But this is, you know, it's a tough shot for Tom, but it's one that Tom will be happy to have this chance after not making the original clearance.
Yeah, it was a tricky position for Shaun to be in, really, because he's left.
Oh, so close.
Tom, but yeah, he realistically, you're never going to get ball in hand out of that situation. So he might have a better opportunity this time because he could potentially play the skill shot or the combination shot, I should call it.
Or he could use the one he's nearest to just to play a straight breakout shot potentially as well.
Yep.
Now he's going to go for the combination by the looks of things.
Yeah, it's a nice position for it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about as good on it as you'd want to be as well.
Plus he can just stun the white dead and he's on the natural to come down the table.
Yeah, nicely played. Now he can just plot his way down the table and try and get his first frame on the board.
Yeah, and always key in this situation to play on a ball, I find, rather than an area.
Flat on the cushion's not great.
Yeah.
I think he's got just half a turn here, so he can get up.
Should be okay.
Yeah. That yellow is just about half a ball off, and the cue ball's pretty close.
Yeah, obviously going on my last match, I probably wouldn't have got anywhere near it, but I would have been playing to leave the top one first, half ball, just to leave the one along the rail last, and stun up for the 8. But yeah, he was just off straight enough that he could pop it out. And this will be a settler.
Yeah, important settler. Get into the match. Long way to go, race to 10, but you've got to get into the match. You don't want to let a player like Tom get too far away and get comfortable. And Shaun just does complete the victory in the frame, and he's up and running. Very important one for him there.
Yeah, which actually felt great
for
me towards towards the end. You can win your first match, you know, you're sort of rolling then, aren't you? You're straight on, straight off.
Especially if you're playing somebody that's, like, I think if you can win your first match in the loser side, if you're playing somebody that's just won, so like you played somebody that had won on loser round 1, so they're coming in on a positive, you're coming in on a negative because you've just lost.
Yeah.
If you get through that first one, then maybe you can start to build something, but it just feels a long way back. But obviously you've made it into the quarters, and Shaun's trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, and another fantastically hit break, and I think the red balls look nice. Fairly sure he can get through to the left-hand side of the bottom 2 reds, on the bottom left as we're looking. So yeah, he's happy enough. We'll need to just punch into the yellow and push it out of the way so the 8-ball goes down the rail.
But he'd probably end up doing that naturally anyway by getting onto that red.
Correct. One thing I will say that Shaun might take a little bit of heart from as well is that when Shaun and I play practice with Tom, it is on his table in his club.
Yeah.
And if you put the cue ball and an object ball pretty much anywhere on that table, Tom will be able to treble it.
Yeah.
He knows it inside out. He knows the cushions inside out. So there's very often shots and clearances where he's pulled off, you know, brilliant shots. He wouldn't necessarily get them on this table.
Yeah, I get your point. You're always playing on his terms, but worth it for the playing against.
Oh, definitely. But I'm just saying
him.
that's something I think Shaun will take a little bit of encouragement from. The fact that, you know, on his table, yeah, he probably is getting close to unbeatable, but out here, not necessarily so.
I also think from Shaun's perspective, you know, he's won a Pro Series event. He's been the #2 player. It's, you know, he's an incredible player in his own right.
Yeah.
And he just almost needs to forget who's on the other side of the table and just play the game right now.
Exactly. Exactly that.
As I ran through his list of results, he's had to beat some very good players on the way through.
Yeah, ideally probably didn't want to leave this ball bottom left till last because he's got to thread the gap of the 8 and the yellow potentially. I'm not sure if he might take his medicine and just... No, he's going to thread the gap. Thought he might play to leave it a little straighter and just screw on and off the side cushion to get behind it. Obviously that also brings the middle pocket into play with the in-off as well, so... Thread the gap or play into it, Simon. What are you doing?
Well, from here, it's got to be thread the gap. I'm definitely not playing into it. Oh, he got into it too much and hit the yellow. It shows his frustration. I think the bigger problem for him is once he'd done the work, could he have found a way not to leave that as the last ball?
Yeah, with 3 balls left, there's an argument to say bottom right, bottom left, leave the one in the middle of the table. Because it went in the top right as well, I think, which would have been an option. That looks all...
Oh, just for a second I thought he'd made that.
Yeah.
That's one that gets away.
Yeah. And Tom comes to the table with his most difficult ball, if you want to call it that. He's on it, first poke.
And could play it if he wanted to in a slightly defensive way as well.
Yeah.
He's not going to play it at all, but he can work himself back down to it without much trouble, to be honest.
1 second left on the clock. You haven't seen me time fouling, Simon.
Yeah. I think that's actually been noticeable over the last couple of years. Is the players are getting a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
With it, you know, there's
too
no
comfortable.
and I think that's why we've seen a few time fouls. Is the fact that I think players are getting comfortable, and just every now and then they just slightly get it wrong.
Yeah. So TC, pop this one on off the cushion, make sure he leaves himself slightly high on this last yellow. Yeah, he made sure. Little soft screw.
Slightly hampered here. Shouldn't prove to be too much of a problem for him. Just far enough away.
Yeah, he's got a very, very good bridge hands.
Job done for Tom.
Chill out in the room, you know, catch up with the missus, see how she's been doing for the day. kill a bit of time and then take a nice stroll back, ready to play the match. But yeah, getting some fresh air was great, basically.
Yeah.
I couldn't have sat around in here.
No. You were right. Tom did take something off the break there, but lost control. That was definitely a lot less power than the opening 2 breaks.
Yeah, reds look good. The red by the 8 ball might go in the middle, probably goes long to the 2 top pockets. Like he's gonna have to play a plant here. Unless the top one goes, which it does. I notice you just leave those ones alone now because you've been caught out so many times by the camera angles.
Well, I just am not. It's not. I'm not adding anything by by doing it. Chooses to come down the table now. It's an interesting decision.
Yeah, probably would have been my last couple of balls, potentially, but I can see the logic of going this way, because obviously if you can clear these 2, you're going to be on the one at the top of the table, and then the 8 ball is wide open down the bottom here.
Decided to move it. He did have a look at going top right with it, but the chance of being on a ball with that cannon was pretty high.
Yeah, it has made the 8 ball, I mean, you wouldn't say it's difficult, but it's harder than it. It's in a worse position than it was, potentially. You might even cannon the yellow here. Move it out of the way.
Was changing his mind right up to the beeps.
Yeah, and I think that's down to where the 8 ball's gone. He just wanted to leave this red till last so that he didn't have to do anything with the cue ball. It's a good shot. So, Simon, do you have any exciting exclusives you can tell me about on Pool USA?
Well, we're looking forward to the first event. I can tell you that in Louisiana.
Yeah, I'll be watching. 19th
to 21st of April. We do have an exciting announcement for the 18th of April.
Oh.
I can't tell you anything about it just yet, but watch this space. Yeah, but yeah, no, really looking forward to it. Let's see if Shaun can knock this 8 ball in. I'll give you a bit more information. Yeah, no doubt about it. Nice finish for Shaun. Needed that one. 3-2 on the Tom break as well, which is a big positive for Shaun.
Okay.
We're working on the announcement for that. Cue ball. It was close. It was dangerous. Shaun's break. He's right. He's breaking with huge power.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing, just to finish off on Louisiana, I don't want to get too bogged down with it, but
yeah,
a lot of people are just thinking we're playing English 8-ball in America. That's not the case. We're playing international 8-ball rules, but we're playing on a 7-foot American table, American balls.
Yeah,
it's very much the American game.
Spots and stripes.
Spots. Well, it's stripes and solids.
Is
I've been
it?
told off for calling them spots.
Dear. Stripes and solids. Okay.
But
I think I've got a set of those at home as well. You know?
Yeah. Well, get yourself ready.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. It's massive, isn't it?
Yeah, the game over there is huge.
America.
So many people are playing.
It's been crying out for a good organisation to get over there and give the players what they want. So let's hope that's what we do.
Yeah, it is exciting. Good first shot, that one from Tom. Just with cue ball in hand.
Yep.
Able just to be precise and deal with his hardest ball, first shot. Okay, it wasn't the hardest ball he's ever had to deal with, but it's still gone. It makes the layout look pretty routine from here.
Yeah. You've got to say, the way these two are breaking, they are leaving good chances, aren't they?
It's actually a surprise that, well, we're coming up to the 40-minute mark. Obviously we started with 70 and we're only going to have 6 frames played, actually.
Yeah.
Just the way the balls are, you know, the quality of the strike on the breaks, and the quality of the two players on show, you'd have expected maybe,
yeah,
you know, 3 or 4 more, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely.
Chris Melling and Christy Caulfield managed 18 frames in about 40 minutes earlier on today. At the 20-minute mark, they'd done 10 frames, 2 minutes a frame they were at, and they ended up just over the 2 minutes a frame, but not by much. Quite incredible.
Yep.
I tell you, I felt sorry for him, actually. A brilliant run. As we see another in off the break from Tom. Could be another reverse clearance come up here. He's had a brilliant weekend as Reese to make it through to the quarterfinals, and I feel like his biggest challenge will be the fact that he hasn't had any table time out there on the main arena.
I can second that.
Yeah, and I think that's a tough one that he's going to have to try and get over quickly when he plays in the morning.
Yeah, I tell you who I actually felt bad for when the draw came out for the last 16, and that was Josh Kane, because again, he'd played really good stuff this weekend to get through to the last 16, and he drew Reese Townsend, as you know, in the last 16, and yeah, they're really good pals. They play in the same interleague team.
Oh right, I didn't know that.
At the same club, and as draws go, it's probably the only draw really that Josh might have looked at and thought, I don't want to play him, because you know, all the pressure would have been on Josh to win from both sides. You know, Reese probably would have had no expectations because Josh is the pro. Yeah. Josh is thinking, you know, I should beat my mate here, who I play in the club quite regularly. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do get plenty of those kind of dynamics in the pool world because it's a lot of practicing and a lot of friends that play the game. So it does happen more than you think. Yeah, it's a tough one when it is Reese that got the victory. Fairly comfortably in the end. I think it was 10-5, 10-6.
Yep. Yeah, I saw him post about it on Facebook. He said it wasn't the prettiest, but job done, so never mind.
Yeah, great run through for Reese. Shaun continues to go through this one. He's in pretty good shape. But the cue ball where the red is, I think he'd be pretty happy.
Yeah, definitely.
The red that's between the triangular yellows.
Yeah, probably wants to take the one yellow that's on its own fairly soon, you would think. So I'm not sure if it goes up the top.
In the end, he decided not to. I thought he was going to go up towards the red, but just tried to drop it in to be on the one to top right. It does. I do think he's on it, but it's awfully tight. And if he's not, then he's digging a little bit.
Yeah, I think he is on it, but it's difficult to get from one yellow to the other yellow, isn't it? From the middles, if he doesn't get out here.
Well, that's why I just thought he would just float past. If he hits the red full in the face, he pretty much can't fail from there.
Yeah, the yellow, as you can see by Shaun's pointing, does go top left, so this one will probably look thinner than it actually is, feel difficult to hold. It's just gone a little bit past. It's landed a little awkward. He's okay. Got to decide whether he's going to just stun over to the right hand side and accept a more difficult 8-ball, or if he's going to stun on and off the cushion. Obviously if you dig into it a bit too much, you could bring the middle pocket into play. Could screw past it, and has played it really well.
actually makes it 4-3, not 3-3 as the score suggests there. He's back within one. Oh, such a good break. I'm with you. You said that Shaun was raving about the quality of his break. I commentated on his first match where it looked like he was hitting them brilliantly, and he's still hitting them brilliantly. I think he is hitting that front ball as well as I've seen him hit the front ball.
Yeah. He's not quite getting the rewards there. I mean, he's kept the cue ball on the table, which is obviously a bonus from what we've seen so far, unfortunately, with these two getting kicked in, but not there. It's not a gimme, is it? Reds are okay. If he takes this red that's sort of in the middle of the table, he could stun up towards the two yellows on the right-hand side and be on the bad red to the top left, assuming that it doesn't go in the top right.
Coming down the table immediately. That's not ideal. He does have a shot. Trying to deal with the problem ball as quickly as he could.
Yeah, and I think he accepted that he was never necessarily going to be perfect on another ball, but probably would always have a shot. So, backed himself. Cues a lovely one in. And if the top red of the three there does go in the top right, then it's a really good chance. If it doesn't, then he's got a little conundrum to solve.
If it does go top right, it's not the full pocket, not even close. Well, this tells us, yeah. Excellent.
That's good.
Great pot.
Can stun into the yellow here as well. Does mean he's going to be leaving the red at the left-hand side as his last ball, which makes it difficult to get onto the 8 unless you're playing on the double, doesn't it, Simon, I think?
Yeah, I did think that a few shots ago, that maybe the double's what he's thinking.
No.
You saw there he was looking for an angle maybe to try and track the ball down the cushion.
Much rather play on it down the rail if you can. So, yeah.
It comes down to give himself that angle.
Narrow window here, because it doesn't want to go too high, because the yellow will be playing like a dustbin lid. You don't want to sort of land Chinese snookered on that one. You want to go too thin, and obviously the middle pocket's playing big as well. So it needs to be judged well, and it is judged well.
Good finish this one from Shaun. Obviously he's got to make this 8 ball, but to get to this point, very good on the back of the reverse clearance as well. And he does make sure of the 8 ball, all square.
So a change of sides for Tom, is it?
And he's chopped and changed quite a little bit through this match actually.
It's worked.
And he's still taking pace off that one. Still not quite got control of the cue ball, but there's nowhere near the power he can break with.
Yeah, I think Tom will like the look of these reds though. I'd be trying to drop the one in the middle, play the one down the right rail to sort of screw up towards the yellow that it's near, and then play the red in the middle of the table and stun into the 2 reds and the yellow, knowing that I was going to be on the other red in the middle, the other side.
I think he's going straight after that.
Yeah.
Once again showing us that he wants to go after the bad ball, the cluster, the cannon, early as possible.
Yeah. See, the reason I'm playing it 1 shot later is because I don't like leaving the ball on the rail, because it's a hard one to connect to with the yellow there as well. Tom's played it really well, and he'll be able to top this one through in the middle and get on that one now. Just goes to show, folks, don't listen to CD.
We were both fortunate enough to be there when we were doing some filming with Tom, when he was doing some kind of pattern work with Mick Hill, and they were just debating different ways to go. I think you were there watching as we were filming that.
Yeah.
Fascinating to hear, you know, two greats of the game discussing, and they do go about finishes in different ways completely.
Oh, I absolutely loved it.
What a treat it was just to be able to see that.
Yeah, I learned a great deal from watching that as well, just purely because the way Mick would say about playing the various shots in the finish just makes absolute pool sense. It's logical, and once he's said it, you think to yourself, yeah, why would you do anything different?
Yeah.
But then Tom's counter argument for that was, that's not how I play.
Well, it's a surprising miss. You know, we'll come back to that in a minute. That's a big error. Thought he was going to be out there.
Yeah. Yeah, not the easiest of situations again here for Shaun, but he'll be happy to be at the table. And I think if he takes this bottom one, he can. He's got a big target to nudge that yellow out, knowing that he's going to be guaranteed to be on another ball. So we're looking to go off 2 cushions. That'll be okay as long as it stays up.
Well, will it? I think he is jawed. I don't think he can see the ball nearest the top left-hand corner to pot it.
Yeah.
And that means he's not on anything.
Not good, is it? Is he fooling us? He is, I think. He is on it. He's having a look at the potting angle.
Yeah, he is. Just fooling us a little bit out there.
Going to come round off 2 cushions, maybe 3. Did, unfortunately for him, I think he played obviously the right shot first poke, and it came out about as awkward as it could for him.
Has he got away with it? Oh no, Tom can see the one to bottom right. So
yeah.
It's just not the whole of it, I think.
I think if he could see the whole pocket to the top left, he'd have already played that shot and screwed down to the bottom cushion.
Plays a good shot under time pressure.
Yeah, played into the side of the table that he knew he was going to leave himself either a pot in the middle or a pot long. You're always hoping a little bit that you land on a nice enough angle to get on the 8. I think he's going to screw it in, is he, in the middle?
Floats it in dead weight. Lovely shot. A little bit of a let off here from Shaun Storry. We talked about that, the counters, especially I think it's even more important the better players you play, when they make mistakes, got to get the counter. He didn't on this occasion in the last 15 seconds of shot, the last 10 minutes, and potentially a 6-red shootout. So something just to keep in the back of your mind if we keep tracking, you know, very close to sort of, you know, 1 frame in it all the way through.
Yeah. Although, what I will say, Simon, is I don't think Shaun will have as big an advantage over Tom in a 6-red as you might think.
Tom's improved.
Yeah.
I think he's reached the point where he's comfortable enough to, you know, if he has to do it, he'll do it. He's actually got a reasonable record, actually.
Yeah. But the thing about it is, as you probably know, with most of the top players, is the speed at which you see the easy pattern.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, Tom's really, really good at that. That's why, you know, someone like Chris Mellin's always really good at a 6-red, because he's seen the pattern before the balls have stopped, whereas I'm still trying to see my first pot.
I'm just seeing seeing all sorts going on. Just running around trying to hit the first ball I see. And
exactly.
Sorry, break from Shaun has given Tom the chance here.
Yeah, and played straight on the double.
I'll give you a little insight into the 6 reds. I'll come to it in a minute with my own personal experience of it, because it's quite funny. Well, let's see if Tom makes the double first. It's a key shot for this frame. He does not. Another mistake from Tom Cousins. An opportunity then for Shaun to counter this time. He does have some problems at the top to solve, but they're not too difficult. He's even looking at the plant.
I think, I was going to say, I think they're a makeable plant, and he should be able to get right behind it as well. First poke. So, yeah, because he's right behind it, he can play this at a very accepting pace for the pocket as well, knowing that he's going to be on the ball he's hitting first on the plant as well.
You wouldn't mind the ball he's playing just popping out enough to be able to play the next shot with a touch of angle as well, which he may just have enough.
I think so, yeah.
Just enough, I think. That's a good plant.
Because even if the object ball is slightly off the cushion, the cue ball being smaller makes it an angle anyway, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, massive angle.
Yeah, huge amount more than it looked.
So just trying to leave the natural angle here to play off one cushion and just drop in the gap for the 2 reds in the centre. Key to the frame.
Yeah, he's not that comfortable on it, that's why he's taking a few extra seconds. Goes his extension.
Yeah, great pace. Because as you can see, a little bit harder, he would have found the gap between the yellows and left him on nothing. So great pace control.
Yeah, the line he found there, you wouldn't believe you could find that gap. It's quite tiny, but you would have slid through it. This time Shaun completes the counter and it's 5-5. Best break of the match.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Touch unfortunate with the leave, but one good shot gives him a chance.
I think he'll be happy enough with these. So whilst he takes his way through these, what were you going to tell me about your 6 reds?
The 6 red shootout. So I was doing some filming. The only time I ever get to do the 6 red shootout, obviously never done it competitively. I'd long since stopped playing before it came in, but I often do it for a bit of filming, a bit of content or coaching or whatever it might be. And I was filming it on an American table just to sort of showcase the 6-ball shootout as it is in America, because they don't play with reds and yellows. Which is going to catch me out in Louisiana all the time. So I do my nice opening pot there for Tom. I do my opening link. This is the six-ball shootout. This is why you're doing it. And all that sort of stuff. And then I wanted just to set a reasonable time, and I wasn't really bothered about what it was. But I also could only use 2 sides really of the table because of the way the cameras were set up in the room and everything else. So I was like, just give me a few goes to set a sensible time and one where I can do it. So you see me do my opening link and everything's fine. You see I eventually complete the 6-ball shootout and I'm drenched in sweat because I'd had so many goes at it. When that comes out on social media, I'm going to be cringing because all I'm going to see is how many goes I had to have it to actually complete it.
35 seconds.
I have no idea. I mean, I haven't even timed it. I suspect it's somewhere in the sort of late 20s, but I genuinely don't know.
Dear. Simon Webb's 6-ball shootout fitness workout video.
I actually did do a competitive one, a semi-competitive one in America. I was on a podcast out there, and got challenged by Mike Molina to do one for the Windows podcast, and I think I set him 30 seconds, and he just ran out of time. So I'll take the win.
Yeah, definitely take the win.
He beat me in the one-frame shootout, so it's a good trade.
Yeah, fair enough.
Whilst we're talking about all that, Tom's gone through these pretty well. He does need to just get the cue ball into a good shape here, but it looks pretty plain sailing for him.
Yep, just pop it off the side cushion. Loads of margin for error.
I think this is going to be Tom's first break clearance of the match. 6th break, which sounds unusual for Tom Cousins, doesn't it? Such as the level he plays at. And he keeps edging himself back in front each time. It's probably the worst one he's hit today. It's still a pretty good one.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm not happy.
No. Because in Shaun's head, he's probably just gone 8-5 down.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Obviously, it's not really been that sort of match, but that can be how you think out there.
Red ball's in play.
Lovely nudge from Tom. Only real decision to make is, does he leave the red at the bottom of the table to his last ball for the 8 in the centre, or does he come down and get that out of the way and leave his last ball in the centre pocket to leave the 8 ball in the left corner? So it looks like he's tracking down the table and leave the 1 over the centre pocket as his last ball.
Could go either way here, but he's on the one at the bottom. It's the way he's going to go.
Yeah, I think I prefer this option too.
Yeah. Simplest way to get on the 8 ball. Simple 8 ball then for 2 clear for Tom.
Yeah, first time he's gone 2 clear since 4-2, I think.
Yeah, very nicely done for Tom. 3 frames away from 10 AM matchup with Chris Melling in the quarterfinals. Well, big power again, as always.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I think the yellow at the top of the table that's by the reds, I think it does look like it goes in the corner. If it does, not a bad chance at all, because obviously the yellow in the middle, you'd nudge into the red and leave the other yellow down the rail, and that would connect to the one at the top potentially. So
He's just working out his route, and looks like a good chance. As you say, it sort of hinges on that one at the top, but it does look like it goes. Very similar to the shot that Shaun played a few frames ago, actually, where he got that same sort of off the cushion cannon and it sort of tracked the cue ball up towards the top cushion. Just leaves it awkward for Tom.
Yeah, I'm surprised he played that, to be honest, because as we know, Tom does try and go after his awkward ball first shot if he can, but I thought, you know, position on that yellow by the middle just to nudge into the red would have solved that problem.
Oh, what a great pot. But to me, it just highlights exactly what we were talking about earlier on. Tom goes into it as early as he possibly can, and
that's his game.
You make a very good point that if you land just short of straight on the yellow to right centre, you've got the natural bump into the red, leaves you on the yellow. But what if you don't land just off and you land? So all of a sudden, and he's got an angle to deal with it straight away, and he tries to deal with it.
Yep.
I find it fascinating, but also equally a brilliant way of going.
It means essentially he's never got a decision to make at the start of the frame, doesn't it? Do I do this or do I do that? He's just I'm doing that. That's it.
I can't clear up until I break my bad balls out, so I'm going to do it as quickly as I can, and then work them out from there. It's
clarity of thinking, isn't it? A lot to be said for that.
Of course, it's all very well to have the angle to break into your bad ball, but the ability to get the bad cannon and cue one in length of the table from the jaws of the pocket is a brilliant bit of execution. It really is.
Definitely.
This looks awkward to me. It wants to stun to the left-hand side of the 8-ball, and the red's in the way.
Yes.
The line's not ideal coming down to the right-hand side.
I think it's one of these where you sort of have to play it as a, you know, you're going to cannon the 8-ball potentially, cannon it half ball and just get the pace right. Alright.
Was able to get it thin enough. This is still a tricky 8-ball. Potted that perhaps a touch on the thin side of the pocket just to get the angle. In goes the 8. You had to wait quite a while for Tom Cousins' first break clearance in the match. He's now put a couple back to back and done Shaun's break in between. Got to, of course, do and take care of your own. Oh, what an explosion. Still not happy. I feel like he's more frustrated here than he should be. I mean, Tom had a ball to break out in his chance, and he didn't show anything, and that's what we've got here. You know, there's one bad ball on the table for, well, two really. If you're thinking reds, the red that's nearest the top left corner is very well guarded, but obviously the one nearest the right hand side. But it is a harder chance than Tom had, but not by a huge amount.
Yellows are okay.
You think yellows are fine?
Yeah, I mean, the yellow on the left-hand side, I think, goes off the red, which makes the other two yellows available. Yeah. And I think he's got a pot on this yellow in the middle, first poke.
I was thinking reds all the way, simply because I didn't like the yellows by those two, the red and nearest the top left, but you make a strong point, and Shaun agrees with you completely. And actually, when you put it in those terms, it's very comparable to the chance that Tom had in the previous one, where he just got about his business, where Shaun was obviously visibly frustrated that he didn't have an easier chance. But
and you can see the frustration, sadly.
Yeah. Maybe lost just a touch of composure out there.
Very tricky chance here for Tom, though.
Yeah, Reds are now horrible. They weren't great to start with.
Yeah, I mean, you might see him play the back double here. And then try and screw into the red and yellow at the bottom left. And then see what we can work out from there.
The red hasn't blocked the yellow to bottom left, so a second good chance here for Shaun.
Yep. Essentially same layout as he had previously, but he should be able to get better on that yellow now to play in off the red, and he should be able to get on it this shot. Doesn't necessarily have to do anything with the cue ball, because he'll be on the yellow to the right centre. So the one thing he does have to do here really is just make sure that red comes out the way. Yeah, that's fine. Looks like he's got a great line to just screw back on the straight. If you can get the cue ball back to sort of where it is now, with the bottom yellow off the table, I think he'll be really happy.
Yeah, it's pretty much framed there.
Yep.
Yeah, almost exactly where he was.
Yep, and he's got the frame on his own break. So now he needs a dry break or in off from Tom.
That's all he needs for the help, isn't it? It's not asking for too much of a drop off from Tom. And he's had a few in the match.
Yeah,
the break's been brilliant, but not worked out for him in terms of brilliant in the strike, but not the outcome. Oh, cue ball, just what Shaun Storry wanted to see. Straight in as well. And look at this layout.
Yeah, probably slightly deceiving. Looks better than it is. The 8-ball's just in the way slightly of a natural pattern for reds, which would lean you slightly towards yellows, but then you've got the two awkward balls. I think the yellow on the left-hand side goes in off the red in the middle, so I think I would have been going yellows here.
And the yellow that he was just by at the top goes top left, so that could have been your starter to get on that one, and then you got yellows into the bottom centre. So
yeah, I think yellows would have been my choice.
There's only one red that's awkward, and it's not too bad to get to.
No, but the natural pattern of the reds doesn't lend itself to getting down there early, does it?
No, and throw in 15 seconds a shot as well.
And a little bit of a Chinese snooker there. And that's the wrong angle. So if this red near the middle goes to the bottom left, is still okay. And it must do.
Transition from 30 to 15, even for a player like Shaun, who's, you know, very established, plenty of experience. Everything looks rushed, doesn't it? He still wants to get a look around the table and work things out, and everything feels rushed, and that's why he's finished awkward here. He's forced the miss. Might get a warning for slapping the table. Yeah, over Rich goes. It's just what you want as a player, isn't it? You've just made an error, an opportunity to get back within one and have the break, and snap the table in frustration. It's referee straight on your case, and don't do that. Yeah, it is just a warning at this stage, but you can be penalised for that.
What is the you know, if he did it again this frame, for instance?
Well, I'm assuming it's loss of frame. I'm hoping you know that as a player. Do you not?
I don't.
You don't slap the table.
No. Yeah, I think it's with swearing.
You get a warning now.
A similar thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a warning and then loss of frame, isn't it? If you do it twice, so I don't see why it'd be the same. It's like a dissent thing, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah. I understand the reasonings for it. I think you know, Ultimate Pool are trying to run a professional tour, and it makes perfect sense. But I'm a broadcaster. I want to see it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm okay with it. I mean,
see the player's personality.
Yeah,
if you're frustrated. I mean, from Shaun's perspective, if he's frustrated, you know, he needs to vent it. If he needs to vent it to get on with being able to play the next frame, then so be it.
You were right though. With the pattern, it was all hinging on that red. It looked okay, but actually difficult to get to. And if he could have seen the yellows and 2 shots in, then it would have been at 15 seconds. A shot was more more manageable. But obviously you've got to be able to see it, and he didn't see it. You know, if you see that, because it was one of those layouts where reds looked more obvious, but actually yellows probably would have been the better suit.
Yeah, but I mean, in all honesty, you know, if I was out there playing under the pressure that he is behind against Tom, I probably would have taken a poke at the reds.
Yeah,
and not seen the yellows.
I think a lot would have done. Yeah.
Yeah. It's only because I'm sitting here nice and calm and already through that I can say, yeah, I think I'd have taken yellows. Just got to be a little bit careful here. That's why he's checking to see if it goes in the centre.
Yeah, not the angle he wanted.
Doesn't particularly want to screw back and flirt with that red ball. So yeah, it's just topped it through for the middle bag.
He stayed down on that one. I think he may have thought might just clip the near jaw on the way through.
And then hope. Has it gone dry? Yeah. Fabulous hit again. Brilliant explosion. Balls everywhere. Good chance for Tom on the yellows to wrap things up.
Can sort of forget about the match clock. He's naturally going to run enough clock. He doesn't have to overthink it. Just try and make the clearance. If it was a 2-frame advantage, not 3, you could make the case if it was a messier layout that is it worth going for? But it's such a good layout that it doesn't really matter what the scoreline or where it is. You just try and make the clearance.
Yeah. Tom just caught having a bit of a wonder there.
Oh, that was tight, just in time.
I think he was just at the point there where he was wondering, do I have a kebab on the way home?
Well, he's back in here. Well, assuming, let's give him the victory here. He's 3 minutes 20. It's unlikely that he's going to lose from here. He'll be back in here playing at 10 AM tomorrow morning against Chris Melling. Well, that's not ideal. Just needs to clip this one in. And good news is he's got a natural window for the cue ball, so he just has to make the pot.
and a lot tougher match than the scoreline suggests. I think he'll be happy to go over the line here.
Yeah, it's been tight all the way through, but just edged in front at the right time. Well, he's always been edging in front, but just separated at the right time. And this 8-ball is for a spot in the quarterfinals. Wow, he can't believe it. He can't. I mean, he should never have been this bad on it, but even he's missed it by a decent way as well.
Yeah. I mean, to Shaun's credit, he's never given up, but
he has to absolutely run here. He really has. I mean, it's not about. He's got 2 minutes. He's got to make 3 finishes, so he's got to make this one, and then he's going to have to make about a 45-second break clearance and try and leave a minute. Probably wouldn't even be a minute.
Yeah, he's got to take him out 6-red style as well. He basically just wants the cue ball to stop as quickly as possible. Yeah, well done.
Yeah, so 1:40 left on the clock.
Yeah, not beyond the realms of possibility.
Unlikely but doable. But
yeah.
First things first for Shaun. Tom needs the dry break.
Wouldn't you? Oh, he's got one.
He gets the 8-ball as well. Shaun can see the funny side of it. He was just about to jump out of his chair. The 8-ball come back up here. It's not a golden break, of course.
It's like a little jack in the box there when he was ready. Because look at these reds as well.
Yeah.
You could have
been quick.
Could have been quick, yeah.
So because the red went in as well, Tom does get to play the next shot. If the red hadn't gone in as well, it would have been Shaun with the chance. But Tom will call his extension and then pot 2 or 3 balls. This match is essentially over. And Chris, you'd say on the balance of play, Tom just about deserves it. He's not been anywhere near his fluent best. A few issues on the break here and there, even though it felt like he's hit it well.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much. I think it's been a pretty even game, really. I think the difference was the 3 in a row that Tom nicked in the middle there to go 8-5.
Just a little burst at the right time.
Yeah, yeah. And I think I remember saying at the time, Shaun, I think either went in off, didn't he, or made a mistake to go 6-5. And I think I remember saying to you in his head, he's 8-5 down now.
Yeah, you did. Exactly what you said, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what turned out to be the difference, really.
It's interesting that Tom didn't call his extension on the very first shot. He waited till there, and he's still not overly worried.
Yeah. He's had a slap.
He's had a slap. Shaun's going to fake running around the table, but it is going to be the end of the road for Shaun Storry. He's had to fight very hard today to make it through to this stage, but it is Tom Cousins who continues to march on.